Hey everybody. So what do you want? So yeah. So I was saying that I was getting likes on the longer videos and not getting likes on shorter videos. And then I got 2 likes in the last 2 days on my last 2 videos. Both videos were under 15 minutes long. So I guess it's true that maybe I don't know, maybe people do like uh the here, I'll just put it in there. Like the little shorter videos more. But see, like this one was, oh, that was only 13 minutes. But see, this one was 43 and it got 2 likes. And then this was 11 and it got a like. That was over an over an hour and I got a like. Uh, See, this one got a negative like. At least one negative like this 16-minute one. I can only tell that because oh, actually, now when you mouse over, it didn't used to. So yeah, I have one thumbs down. So someone didn't like it. Um, you know, I feel like I used to take these kind of personal, but I do feel like you should probably be about the level of upset as the level of effort it took. So it took almost no effort for the person to put a thumb down. And basically the same thing with the thumbs up. Like it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to put a thumbs up. So like I probably shouldn't get like all jazzed up and excited that someone do, but I definitely appreciate it. And I definitely appreciate thumbs up more than I appreciate thumbs down, but I do appreciate thumbs down begrudgingly. Um, so I think all that one was me. I didn't do any coding. All I did was commit the code. So maybe the person was un unhappy with me not doing any coding. I mean, there's just no telling. It's so hard. But um, yeah, so I'm not going to count that against short videos. I guess as I see, this is a long 32-minute video, and then this is an 18-minute, which I technically call long. Anything over 15 minutes, I'm calling long. So it does seem like the longs are winning, but you know, just the shorts just came in. But then the thing is sometimes like I just got a new subscriber yesterday, 177 subscribers, um, and 27 in the last 28 days. So I'm basically clipping at about a person a day, um, and sometimes you just get a new subscriber and you can't really tell who's liking it, but you get a new subscriber and they get excited and they like things. Um, which is cool. I mean, that's a really cool thing to do. Um, is to like a video. I definitely like videos more now that I very rarely like videos because 9 times out of 10 when I'm watching a YouTube video, it's on my Roku or on my LG TV um, OS, and I'm logged in as a guest, so I can't like anyways. The main disadvantage to that is you don't have a history. So if you're like, dang, I want to rewatch that video that I watched 3 days ago, there's no way to do that. But anyways, that's all beside the point. And I will say that I'm probably going to have a long video today, just because I'm still in bachelor mode. My wife is in New York State, in the upstate area, on a artisan retreat or something like that, learning about art. She's very good artist. She's been winning awards in art since she was a child. Um, and she just has an incredible eye for color and an incredible eye for functional art, for like art that does things. I mean, she is just a true Indiana girl, and so like some of the people who really appreciate her, um, like bought her a VIP ticket, and one of her followers is driving her up there, and then somebody that she kind of hawks a lot of their products her on her website. I mean, on her TikToks, is paying for her hotel room um, that she's staying in. She doesn't have a private hotel room, so she's up there basically the whole trip. She is buying gas. She's paying for the gas up there, which wasn't required. She just did that, and she's buying her meals, and that's it. So she gets to go on a fun trip. But I as a cool bachelor coder get to just code. And I do have to take my dogs walking, because they do need the exercise. I have two very active dogs. I have a German Shepherd and a Jack Russell Terrier, and they need a lot of exercise, and they also need a lot of like external stimulation. Um, and they do need, well, the German Shepherd particularly needs a lot of socialization with people, people, being around other dogs, being in sort of situations that happen when you are around humans. Us humans with our dogs, we create situations, and she has to learn how to cope with those things. Um, so there's that. And then I need to feed Rhett, the bird, and I need to, like, she makes a mess on the ground. She likes to throw her food on the ground and be real rebellious, so I need to do that. We have a couple cats that I need to keep fed, and that's about it. I have to go to I have to go to work, and my work isn't actually in a kind of a really interesting place right now. We're learning a lot and all that. So, anyways, yesterday I was all like, sort of like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I don't want to go in here and in this and then not let people type in A. And I gave a bunch of lame excuses. But the truth of the matter is like, I get a very unhappy pit in my stomach every time I think about doing regular expressions, and regular expressions are the best way to do this. And then I also, anytime I'm doing reactive forms, form group sort of validations, I am not particularly happy with that either. Um, Although now I see why. Um, yeah, for some reason I thought I made that a two string um, yesterday. So I should probably do the same thing up here. And actually, there's no reason to make that a two string. I can just make it a string. Just make it a string, bro. I guess if I'm going to use single quotes up top, I should, above, on the line above, I should do that. All right. So what I don't want, I want them to only, the user, them, which is me. One day maybe people will use this application, but what I want what I want me's to do is only be able to type in uh, floating point numbers. Um, so that comes with some stuff, like it should only be one decimal point, things like that. It's okay if it leads with a zero, or, obviously you can lead, 10.1 as a floating point. But, and then I don't care how many decimal points past they do. So I know that when you create a form control, you can also give it some validation. And I know that validation could be in decimals, but and I know that, I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can um, make it to where the user just can't enter invalid, like it just goes back to the original or removes it or whatever. And I don't know if that is like native to um, like form groups and reactive forms, that sort of behavior of just preventing them, or if that's something that I need to handle as a subscription. So I have some questions for ChatGPT. Um, I remember like something like this would just take hours to research, or you have to go find an old version or something like that. So in Angular reactive forms, I would like to allow only, that's horrible English, floating point numbers and prevent the user from entering illegal characters. I'm just going to tell it what I want, and I guess I'm going to misspell character. I wonder if that's how you, I bet you that's how you spell like a Disney character. use a combination of validators and input restrictions. Here's a simple approach with the custom. Okay, so this is my regex. Oh, and I was trying to think today, why, what is my problem with regex? And I do think that it is like a very, 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 very. I wish there was a different word for it. Minor um, PTSD sort of thing. I hate to call it PTSD because like people that have like were in the military or were sort of went through some stuff like that that isn't really like that's so much worse than like me not wanting to do regex. But I think this is sort of the same mechanism, just not the same intensity. So I wish there was another word for like just PTSD that's just annoying as opposed to debilitating. So if you like if you know someone or you do experience like debilitating PTSD, I'm not trying to put my disfavor for doing regular expressions on the same par with you. Um, and please, don't think that I'm minimizing what other people are going through. I definitely am not. But every time I've ever really worked with regular expressions, it's been some over like engineered sort of crazy experience that was very, very difficult to make heads or tails of. And then every time I dealt with it in along with reactive forms, it's been something crazy. So what I would like to do is actually create like build a a validation scheme that is reusable and a delight to use, so that the next time I have to do it for a form, it's kind of like, wow, that was great, that was awesome. And I'll tell you, like when when I implemented the colors for fog, like that was a delight. That was an absolute delight, using this form and it just working and everything. And so then like I kind of had like sort of a positive reinforcement of, oh yeah, building like a um, custom input's probably a bad word to use because I think it's already been sort of used, but like a just a custom component that I use to control colors, was really like it worked out so nice, So now I want to set something up that uses reactive forms that's just sort of a pleasure to use and all that. But the first step is to kind of do something like this, where let's see if we can understand what they did. Okay, so they created a custom validator and they had a function. They create a function. There's a floating point validator. And then they have a regex and they have a floating point regex test. And then it returns. I don't know what this is. If this is, I guess it returns an object or null. It returns a null or an object. And this is another thing that like these ternaries, for the longest time, I mean literally decades, I was just dead set against ternaries. And the biggest reason I'm dead set against it in code, I still am in regular code like this, is because it's very difficult to expand on a ternary. Like and be able to rely on that you didn't just screw something up. So when let's say I need something that's multiple lines in the future, I need to add lines to this. Being able to figure out, be able to be sure that when I converted this to a function, that I got it right, um, is it's tricky. You can screw that up pretty easily. Um, so I don't like it in this, but I do really like it inside of templates. Okay, so then the next thing I need to do is I need to do a form group setup. So that is, I guess you give it an array. It's kind of weird in there. They never, I guess, oh, they import. Yeah, I guess they needed to probably import this um, floating point validator function. And they give it an array of that. So, and then there's a third part of restricting the input. So, okay, so key press, which is what I mentioned yesterday. So on this event, and then so the key press validation happens before, I believe, or at least it used to happens before the change. So yeah, before this value change event happens, I believe the key press happens. So you can um, so you could make the change, and then I guess you prevent the default. That probably prevents it from doing that. And so anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. Um, I think they did leave the step here inside of the code of importing this guy. Um, it is, I think it is weird. I have had to do this before, and I think it is a bit weird. I think this code, where you give it an array of functions, is a bit weird. Um, and I don't think it's like super clear um, what what this does. You know, like when you read this, it's just like the validator part. The name of this is helpful, but it's kind of weird that like you don't. I don't think there's anything obvious that makes this clear. So I definitely want to come up with a better way of doing this. Um, and then that's probably my wife. So yeah, so I'm gonna start setting something like this up tomorrow, and then and that'll be that. Oh no, that won't be that, because as soon as I'm done setting that up, I'm gonna. I don't like this. This is. I appreciate ChatGPT doing this for me, but I don't really like it. I definitely want to come up with a better way of of communicating what's happening here. Um, so like if I have to, that's the one thing I don't like, and I do think this is insane. It is absolutely very very typical. Um, and let's see. So this, yeah, and I don't know. Can you? Let me ask it to. Can you explain the regex? So if it's on full size, I say this every time, it enter works, but okay, so shows that you don't match partial numbers or numbers in the middle of the text. So this thing says that. Oh, okay. So, can we make it positive? So so that is kind of a bummer. Okay, positive floating. Wow, it actually got easier. So yeah, what I want to do, like my end goal is to have a inside this maths uh, services. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to create a new validator service. See, this is how it all goes wrong. Okay, I'm just going to tell you my goal is to create a validator service that has an object that describes these things, that makes it very dirt easy to go in there and know exactly what you're working on, exactly what this thing does, has descriptions and examples in it. And that's my goal. And my hope is that when I move on to the next, like, not necessarily the very, like, okay, so I'll end up adding it in for near and far as well too. Like, I think near and far can only be positive floating points as well. Um, um, and so, I'll reuse it there, and it'll probably be easy to remember. But then, like, when I move on to the next thing, which is animations, I'll probably want to also add validations inside of those, right? So if I add a mesh and I animate it, and then I come over to animations, I may want to add, um, I believe at this point, like every single animation is only numbers, right? Look at is only numbers, and I guess they don't. Yeah, rotation is only floating point numbers. Red, I mean, colors are intensity. So the colors are floating are probably like a floating point number, but only between 0 and 255. And then so that will be a good thing for me to create another one for. And if it, hopefully it'll be a delight. Hopefully that I'll go into my validation service and I'll be like, oh, let me just add a new kind of validation, 0 to 255 floating point numbers. But it has to be less than 0, it has to be greater than 255. And then I go, wow, that was a delight. That was an absolute delight to work on. I absolutely understood. I was never confused the whole time. And then maybe I can sort of undo this sort of um, um, discomfort that I've sort of developed, uh, defaults, just automatic reflexive discomfort that I feel every time I need to work on regular expressions. Maybe I could fix that part of my mind. So I will probably start working I will start working on that tomorrow, and this video is probably already too long yet. It's 23 minutes. I ramble, definitely have a very incredible lack of structure going on right now. So anyways, happy coding everybody, and bye.